Maureen McCormick, born August 5, 1956 in Los Angeles, California, is an American actress, singer, and author, best known for her role as Marcia Brady on the classic television series The Brady Bunch. As one of the iconic faces of the 1970s, she became a pop culture icon, representing the image of the perfect American girl. However, behind her bright smile on screen, her life is a story of deep sadness, harsh challenges, and relentless efforts to overcome difficulties. From her struggles with addiction to her efforts to find herself, Maureen's journey is a testament to human resilience and recovery. The greatest sadness in Maureen McCormick's life was her decades-long battle with drug addiction and related mental health issues, especially in the years after the Brady Bunch ended in 1974. At the age of 17, she began using cocaine and other stimulants, in part to cope with the pressures of fame and the expectation to maintain the perfect image of Marcia Brady. This struggle continued into the 1980s, when she spiraled into addiction, leading to periods of severe depression, feelings of low self-esteem, and disorientation. She has said that there were days when she felt like she was living in a nightmare, unable to escape her drug dependence and feeling guilty for hurting her family and herself. This sadness came not only from the physical effects of addiction, but also from the feeling that she had lost herself, becoming a stranger to herself and her loved ones. The pain of her addiction became even more acute when she faced its consequences in her personal life. During the 1970s and 1980s, she lost many career opportunities, from roles in major films to promising television projects, because producers no longer trusted her stability. She once said that there were nights when she sat alone in her Los Angeles apartment, crying because she felt she had wasted her talent and the opportunities that the Brady Bunch had brought her. One of the most painful moments was when she was turned down for a leading role in a film because of her addiction, an event that left her feeling like her career was over. This sadness was not only about the loss of her career, but also about the feeling of failing to live up to the expectations of her audience and family. Another aspect of her greatest sadness was the pressure of portraying Marcia Brady, a character who was seen as a symbol of perfection, but became a burden to Maureen. After the Brady Bunch became a cultural phenomenon, she became so attached to the role that she felt trapped in an image that did not reflect who she truly was. She has shared that she felt like she was living a fake life, where people expected her to be happy, beautiful, and perfect like Marcia. This pressure led to periods of depression and anxiety, as she struggled to find her own identity outside of the character. There were days when she looked in the mirror and did not recognize herself, feeling like Marcia had taken over her life, leaving Maureen hurt and disoriented. Maureen's sadness was also amplified by her guilt for hurting her family, especially her parents and siblings. She grew up in a middle-class family in Encino, California, with her father, Richard McCormick, a teacher, and her mother, Irene McCormick, a homemaker. They were supportive of her career, but her addictions caused them heartache. She has said that seeing her mother cry when she found out she had relapsed made her feel like she had betrayed the love of her family. This sadness was deepened when she thought about her daughter, Natalie, and feared that her mistakes would affect her future. Her battle with addiction and mental health, which she eventually overcame with the support of her family and therapy, remained the greatest pain of her life. Maureen McCormick's career has been an inspiring journey from child star to beloved actress, singer, and author. But it has also been filled with setbacks and moments that have made her cry from stress or deep empathy. Born and raised in Los Angeles, she began her acting career at the age of 6, appearing in commercials for brands such as Barbie and Kool-Aid. In 1969, at the age of 13, she was cast as Marcia Brady on The Brady Bunch, an ABC sitcom that became one of the most beloved characters on the small screen. The show, which ran for 5 seasons from 1969 to 1974, made her an international star, with Marcia Brady becoming a symbol of innocence and perfection in the 1970s. The success of the Brady Bunch opened many doors for Maureen. She went on to appear in related television series such as The Brady Kids, The Brady Bunch Hour, The Brady Brides, and A Very Brady Christmas, cementing her place in popular culture. In addition to acting, she tried her hand at music, releasing the country album When You Get a Little Lonely in 1995. Though it did not achieve great commercial success, she also appeared on reality television shows such as Celebrity Fit Club in 2007, where she shared her weight loss journey and struggles with self-image, and Dancing with the Stars in 2016, where she finished 8th and received critical acclaim for her efforts. Her autobiography, Here's the Story: Surviving Marcia Brady and Finding My True Voice, published in 2008, was a major success, making the New York Times bestseller list and being praised for its honesty in recounting her battle with addiction. However, Maureen's career was not always smooth sailing. One of her biggest setbacks was when she lost several acting opportunities in the 1980s due to her drug addiction. She was considered for the lead role in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but producers turned her down due to concerns about her stability. This failure left her feeling like she had lost her chance to change her career, and she once shared that she cried for hours after receiving the news. Another failure was her album When You Get a Little Lonely, which was not received as well as expected by the public, causing her to doubt her ability as a singer. She once said that she spent months in the studio, working tirelessly to perfect the album, only to face criticism that she could not surpass Marcia Brady. The moments that made Maureen cry often involved empathy for the audience and the pressures of her career. On an episode of Celebrity Fit Club, when she shared her struggles with eating disorders and addiction, she was overcome with tears as she received support from her fellow contestants. She later shared that the moment made her realize that she was not alone in her struggle. Another time, while filming an episode of the Brady Bunch Hour in 1977, she cried in the dressing room after being criticized for not being as cheerful as Marcia. She felt pressure to always be perfect, and this criticism made her doubt her worth as an actress. She has also been moved by recognition from audiences and colleagues. In 2008, when Here's the Story was published, she choked up when she received letters from fans thanking her for sharing her personal story. She shares that the early years after the Brady Bunch, when she was rejected by many directors because of her reputation as Marcia, made her doubt herself, and that this recognition was a great source of motivation. These moments, though rare, show her sensitivity and kindness, which is what makes her so attractive on screen and off. Maureen McCormick's achievements are not just about fame or commercial success, but also about finding herself and creating a meaningful legacy. As an actress and author with a strong love for the arts, she always aims to be true to herself and inspire others through her story. One of Maureen's biggest goals was to step out of the shadow of Marcia Brady and establish her own identity. With Here's the Story, she achieved this, as the book not only recounted her successes, but also exposed her struggles, from addiction to depression. The book, with its honesty and depth, helped her connect with audiences on a new level, no longer as Marcia, but as Maureen, a resilient woman who overcame adversity. The success of the book, with thousands of copies sold and critical acclaim, is a testament to her ability to tell stories and inspire. She also aims to be an inspirational figure through her philanthropy and sharing her personal story. She has been involved in numerous campaigns to raise awareness about mental health and addiction, working with organizations like Narcotics Anonymous to support those struggling with similar issues. One of her most memorable moments was when she spoke at an addiction recovery conference in 2010, where she shared her journey and received a standing ovation from the audience. This goal was not only a career accomplishment, but also a way for her to give back to the community that supported her through the difficult years. In addition, Maureen is looking to expand her career into new areas. She has tried her hand at theater, starring in musicals such as Peter Pan and Grease, where she has received praise for her versatility. She also has plans to produce a documentary about life after the Brady Bunch, focusing on her recovery journey and that of her co-stars. While the project is still in development, she is always working to learn and improve her skills, from taking acting classes to researching reality TV shows. Her participation in Dancing with the Stars is part of this effort, as she wants to challenge herself and prove that she can still shine at the age of 60. In her personal life, she aims to be a devoted mother and wife. Although she only has one daughter, Natalie Michelle Cummings, she always tries to spend time with her, supporting Natalie in pursuing her dreams in the art field. She also tries to protect the privacy of her family, limiting the sharing of Natalie's images on social media to protect her from unwanted attention. She once shared that she wanted Natalie to grow up with a normal childhood, unaffected by her mother's fame. These achievements, despite the sacrifice and constant effort, have helped Maureen McCormick become one of the most inspiring figures in the American entertainment industry. Maureen McCormick, whose career blossomed as Marcia Brady, has had a colorful emotional journey, but not without its trials and sorrows. Her marriage to Michael Cummings, her partner since 1985, has been the center of her personal life, providing stability and love after years of turmoil. As the mother of Natalie Michelle Cummings, she has built a close-knit family, but her love and marriage journey has also had its share of heartache, often tied to her battle with addiction and the pressures of fame. The meeting between Maureen and Michael Cummings is a love story that begins with honesty and mutual support. They met in 1984, when Maureen was at the height of her battle with drug addiction. Michael, an actor and businessman, was drawn to her underlying strength, even in her most vulnerable moments. She has said that Michael was the first person to see her for who she was, not Marcia Brady, and that this made her feel loved unconditionally. They married in 1985 in a simple ceremony in Los Angeles, and Michael became her rock through some of her greatest challenges. Together, they welcomed their daughter Natalie in 1989, marking the beginning of their happy family. However, her marriage to Michael was not always smooth. One of Maureen's greatest sorrows in love was the impact of her addiction on their relationship in the early years of their marriage. Although she had begun the process of recovery when she met Michael, she still experienced relapses, which put him through difficult times. She has said that there were nights when she and Michael argued bitterly, as he felt helpless in the face of her struggle with cocaine. These moments left her feeling guilty for hurting her loving husband, and she feared that her addiction would destroy their marriage. Michael, with patience and love, stood by her through it all, but she could not shake the feeling that she had placed a burden on him. Another sadness in her marriage was the pressure of fame and Marcia Brady's image. After the success of the Brady Bunch, Maureen was constantly under the public and media scrutiny, making her feel trapped in an image that did not reflect her true self. This affected her relationship with Michael, especially when some tabloids speculated about their marriage in the 1990s. She once shared that she read a false article that she and Michael were separating, and this made her cry because she felt violated. Michael, who is a private person, also felt uncomfortable with the unwanted attention, and they had to work hard to protect their privacy. This sadness came not only from the intrusion of the media, but also from the feeling of helplessness at not being able to live a normal life like other couples. The pressure of balancing career and family was also a source of sadness in Maureen's marriage. With a busy schedule from television projects, music, and later reality shows, she was often away from home, leaving Michael to take on most of the responsibility of caring for Natalie. She once said that there were days when she returned home after a long filming session, only to find Michael exhausted but still trying to keep a smile to cheer her up. This made her feel guilty, because she knew that her career had put pressure on her husband's shoulders. They learned to overcome these challenges by having family nights, like watching reruns of The Brady Bunch or taking walks on the beach at Santa Monica, to reconnect. Despite these challenges, Maureen and Michael built a strong relationship based on understanding and deep love. She once said that Michael was her best friend, and he helped her regain confidence in herself after years of struggling with addiction. One of their most romantic moments was when Michael took her on a surprise trip to Hawaii to celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary, a gesture that moved her to tears because of his devotion. Her greatest sadness in the marriage was not the lack of love, but the feeling that she could not completely protect her family from the consequences of her past and her fame. Maureen McCormick's children, specifically her only daughter, Natalie Michelle Cummings, born in 1989, are the center of her personal life and her biggest source of motivation to overcome challenges in her life. As a mother, Maureen has always strived to provide Natalie with a stable childhood, unlike the chaotic years she herself experienced. However, her journey to motherhood has not been without its difficulties, especially when she has to deal with the effects of her drug addiction past and the pressures of fame. Natalie grew up in a loving family, with Maureen and Michael always trying to create a safe and supportive environment. Maureen has shared that she wanted Natalie to have a normal childhood, unaffected by her mother's fame. She often took Natalie to the park, attended school activities, and organized family nights for games or movies. However, she also admits that raising Natalie wasn't always easy. During Natalie's early years, Maureen was still recovering from addiction, and there were times when she feared that her mistakes would affect her daughter. She once said that she would see Natalie playing alone and wonder if she felt deprived because her mother was constantly busy with work or struggling with mental health. One of the biggest challenges of being a mother was protecting Natalie from the media spotlight. As the daughter of Marcia Brady, Natalie was often the subject of media attention, especially when Maureen appeared on reality shows like Celebrity Fit Club and Dancing with the Stars. Maureen has said that it hurt her to see Natalie asked about her mother in articles or at school, and she tried her best to keep her daughter out of the spotlight. She and Michael decided to limit Natalie's social media presence, and they frequently moved to quieter areas of Los Angeles to ensure their daughter's privacy. These efforts, while successful, also left Maureen feeling pressured to constantly protect Natalie from the ramifications of fame. Natalie, with her sensitivity and intelligence, became a great inspiration to Maureen. She once said that when Natalie began pursuing art, especially painting and writing, she felt proud that her daughter had found her own passion. Maureen supported Natalie in art classes and encouraged her to pursue her dreams, but she also reminded Natalie of the importance of balance in life. One of the most memorable moments was when Natalie gave her mother a painting she had drawn herself on Maureen's 50th birthday, along with a letter expressing gratitude for her mother's sacrifice. This letter brought Maureen to tears, as it reminded her that her efforts in motherhood had paid off. Despite having only one child, Maureen always considered Natalie to be the guiding light in her life. She has shared that motherhood has helped her find meaning in life, especially during her years of struggling with depression and addiction. However, she also carried a silent sadness because she was unable to have more children due to past health problems. She and Michael tried to conceive again, but the failures left her feeling regretful, although she always tried to focus on giving Natalie a full life. Natalie, with her maturity and love for her mother, became the driving force for Maureen to continue her journey of recovery and build a meaningful life. Michael Cummings, Maureen McCormick's husband since 1985, was the one who understood the pain she went through, especially her battle with addiction and the pressures of fame. With sincerity and deep love, he became a strong support for Maureen, and his sharing of her life shows his empathy and admiration for her resilience. Regarding his battle with drug addiction, Michael has said that it was the most difficult period of their marriage. He said that when he first met Maureen, he realized that she was a talented but deeply damaged woman. He witnessed her relapses, and there were nights when he sat with her, trying to comfort her as she cried with guilt and failure. He described Maureen as someone who always tried to fight, even in her darkest moments, and he was proud that she found the strength to overcome her addiction. He said that it broke his heart to see her blame herself for her past mistakes, and he always reminded her that she was a great mother and wife, despite her difficulties. Regarding the pressure of Marcia Brady's image, Michael shared that he felt sad to see Maureen trapped in her shadow. He said there were days when she would come home from a shoot crying because she felt she couldn't escape public expectations. He tried to help her regain her confidence by encouraging her to write an autobiography. Here's the story, a project he believed would help her define her own identity. He said he admired the way Maureen turned her pain into inspiration for others, and he felt proud of the love she received from audiences after the book was published. Michael also sympathized with Maureen's sadness about balancing her career and family. He said there were times when she felt guilty for not being able to spend enough time with Natalie due to her busy schedule. He said he tried to be a support for both Maureen and Natalie, hosting family nights to help them reconnect. He once saw Maureen cry while looking through old photos of Natalie, feeling regretful that she had missed some important milestones in her daughter's life. Michael emphasized that he loved Maureen for her dedication to her family, and he always tried to remind her that she was better than she thought she was. Finally, Michael shared that he felt lucky to have been with Maureen through all the ups and downs. He said that there were moments when he saw her crying while reading fan letters, thanking her for sharing her story of addiction and recovery. He said that these moments made him realize Maureen's strength, not only as an actress, but as a woman who had overcome adversity. He emphasized that Maureen's greatest sadness was not her mistakes, but the feeling that she was not good enough, and he always tried to help her see that she was an inspiration to him and Natalie. In conclusion, Maureen McCormick's life was an inspiring journey, interspersed with peaks of success and depths of sadness. Her greatest pain, her battle with addiction and mental health, was a severe challenge that shaped the way she lived and loved. Her career, from her role as Marcia Brady in the Brady Bunch to her best-selling autobiography, Here's the Story, is a testament to her talent and perseverance, despite setbacks such as lost acting opportunities and the pressures of fame. Her pursuits, from defining her own identity to inspiring through her personal story, have left a significant legacy in the entertainment industry. In love and marriage, she found comfort and strength in her husband, Michael Cummings, who accompanied her through her trials, despite the sadness of her past and the pressures of her public image. Her daughter Natalie was her greatest source of strength, helping her overcome difficulties and build a loving family. Michael, with his empathy and love, helped her see her worth through her pain. At 68, Maureen McCormick continues to be an icon, not only for her role as Marcia Brady, but also for her kind heart and resilience, leaving an indelible mark on audiences and loved ones.